Right, folks, happy Sunday, and I'll get straight to it. No waffle or no nonsense here. So I've got this wall in the house, part of my own renovation, and I'll tie it in with a woodworking project. Now, it's a bland wall, and that light there, I can't remove it. It's got to stay there. I've got a ceiling light as well, and these sort of wall lights. So I was just going to change the design of that light, but I thought I quite like them. So I thought I'll change it. So I've got an idea in my head of what I want. And there I am, pondering a design, sharpening my tools and getting on with it. So anyway, what I'm doing here is just drawing a quick sketch down of the size that I've got to work with. It can, even though I've got a space of 90 centimetres high, the design, you've got to make sure you stay within that confines of that design for this project. So that's what I'm doing here, and it's an 150 centimetres wide, whatever that is in inches, I'm unsure. So I'm making this out of 4x2 and some scraps of wood that you see behind me there that I've got laying about, but mainly a couple of pieces of 4x2. Now I'm going to cross-cut these down to 90 centimetres 80, 70, 60 centimetre lengths. Off the top of my head, I forget how many lengths it was. I just done it off the cuff and I forgot to write it down. But there was a few of them. I think there was about, in this there was about a full length, maybe a length and a half of 4x2. But if you've got a fair bit of 4x2 in, or you can get like 4 or 5 lengths in, you'll have loads left for other projects. So you don't have to be super accurate with this either. It doesn't call for super accuracy. In fact, if it's slightly out, the project will look a lot better than what I'm going to do. So, as with anything, and I always say every video, watch your fingers with that miter saw. Keep your hands well away from it. And be safe at all times. Look at the state of me. Sawdust everywhere. And here he is. He's got his haircut booked in for later on today. You'll see him in a bit with his hair done. So here I'm just ripping it down sideways on into 1.5 centimetre strips for the design, each of them lengths of 4x2. Now this takes me quite a while to do because I'm just taking my time. And I love my saw, this DeWalt job site saw. And somebody commented, why don't you make some wings for it, and why don't you make it? The constraints I've got at the minute is the space I'm in is really small, and part of the thing I'm going to be doing once I've got a few more jobs done in the house is do this outside portion here into a workshop. I need to get it done really before the bad weather sets in, because as you can see behind me there, it's open. One of the other things I'll be doing is making myself a new work table. This one, there's nothing wrong with it, it's just seen better days, and I want it just to be a bit more visually appealing. As you probably, I don't know how you all are with your woodworking, but I like to work in a clean environment. I know it's hard with woodworking, but the cleaner you can keep it, the better. And at the moment, I can't do that because of what's going on. Things coming in and out of the house all the time. Jobs I'm doing under here. So I'm just cutting it little bits down here now, sort of infills and things to secure the back. And I'm working, so this section here where I'm cutting will be for sort of like round where that light is, as you can see there. And there's a gap here, it works out about, so this is where the British work in inches and metric and imperial, about 8.5 inches wide there. I don't know why, it tends to be the British, we work a lot like that. I know they're adopting more of the metric system and always have done, but I like using a combination of the two methods. Still, it's like something I can't get out of my system. So I'm just striking straight lines here. This will be French cleats that'll be on the back of here, French cleat system. So this will be the bit at the bottom, that'll be the bit at the bottom. that supports the base of it. Shelley's going in here now to just define what colour she wants, because she's in charge. She's the colour department, and she's sort of getting an idea. She doesn't actually go with these sort of colours in the end. She goes with some different ones. So a lot of sanding. And now I didn't need to sand all this. I could have sanded it, but she wants to pre-stain every strip, so individually. So I thought I'll give it all a good sand. Just spend the extra bit of time sanding, and the results just pay off in the end. So she's going over it here with a Morel spirit-based stain. She's picked her 3 shades of stain, or colours, whatever you want to call them. And it goes on really well. And if you can hear every breathing on this video, I do apologise. I have ordered like a mic to do these voiceovers, and on some of my videos what I'll be doing is I'll be doing like talk throughs actually on the videos, because people have asked me for cutlass and I'm not the best at technology, and I am trying to sort of like get something where I can put plans together and stuff like that for you all. So you'll just have to bear with me, because like, you know, I'm not sort of an old at this YouTube. It's all a learning curve for me, so just bear with me. I know people probably think I've been doing YouTube for ages. I've had the YouTube account since 2020, but I've never done anything with it until I started doing my woodwork, which was, I think it was about 6 to 8 months ago, something like that. I can't remember. It's always been there, but I just started doing it. I was going to do it as an antiques channel, believe it or not, at the beginning. But I love my woodworking, so you'll see a few antique videos in with my woodworking videos, but you know, the main priority is the woodworking. So I'm just measuring here to get the dimensions around that light that's on the wall, because I can't take the light off the wall. Now, maths is not my strong point, figures and all this kind of stuff, so I'm just double checking, triple checking and quadruple checking everything, just to make sure I have got this spot on. And I'm just to the buttons at the back. This is the bottom button, which will be the support for the cleat at the top. I'm just gluing it, then I brad nail it. Just get it in. There's something satisfying about getting your fingers in that glue, isn't there? So let me know where you're all from. I ask that every video, and if you would support the channel by subscribing. And please don't forget, I have set a membership thing up. I'm going to put loads of content on there for everybody that won't be seen on the normal way. But Wednesdays and Sundays videos like this are all going to be the same for everybody. But it'll just be more like behind the scenes stuff, a few extra videos as and when I do them. I'm going to start doing lives and all that kind of stuff. I'm learning about YouTube all the time, so like I say, just bear with me. I will get it right in the end. My main concern with these videos is, number 1, the audio quality, and number 2, the visual quality. They're the next 2 steps of what I do. So if there's any recommendations out there for microphones and cameras, I don't want to bust the bank. I'm doing this off an iPhone, an old iPhone at the minute. I don't like doing lots of editing, because I like trying to keep things real. So that'll all stay the same. It's just the picture quality, so I can go in more and show you more in depth of what I'm doing. So I'm just going in here now with some screws just to support it more. Did I have to do this step? Not really, but I just did. There's no rhyme or reason. It doesn't have to be fancy. This is the back of the piece. You can make it all nice and lined up if you want, but I choose not to. It's like an old picture. When you see an old picture, the back tells its story. Like, as you know, I'm an antique dealer. And when I look at stuff, I always look at the back of stuff. Even old furniture, I'll look at the back, the drawers, the back of the drawers. And that tells the story of the piece. So you know, I know this sounds a cop-out for this, but it's not. You'll see all them workings on the back. If you took this off, you will see all them workings. And I think it adds to the character of it. You know, so further down the line, so let's say my grandkids get this, or my great-great-grandkids get this and put it in their house. they can see what their great-great-granddad's done on the back. So I made a mistake there, went through with some brads, but I get over that. What I do is I knock them back a little bit, and then I put something over it in the end. So Shelley's going over here with the Polyvine. It gets 2 coats of this clear lacquer varnish Polyvine. Really good stuff. If you can get this, really easy to apply. I'm not sponsored by anybody, so I'm not trying to flog you something. I'm just only recommending what I use and why I use it. So I'm using all these bits of scrap wood up here now that I've had lying at the front. I try and blend a bit of the scrap into the project, because you just get overrun with scrap wood. And the worst thing is a bag full of scrap. It drives you absolutely bonkers, thinking, I could do this with that, I could do that with that, and you never get round to doing it. So I tend to leave it there right in front of my face. Well, it's behind me actually, but if you know exactly what I mean. And then I can see things, I think, I can use that bit for this, or I'll use that bit for that. When it's in a corner somewhere and it's out of sort of sight and out the way, you tend to sort of forget about it more. So that's why I tend to leave it where I can see it at all times, and that way I can keep on top of it. And some of it does get bagged up and chopped up for firewood for the winter, for fire starters, fire lighters, that kind of stuff. But it's sort of minimal. Like this here, I've used these little bits of offcuts. They were little strips off the 4x2s, I think they was, that were pieces of scrap. And I'm just measuring everything round here. I'm doing it off the cuff. So a little bit of glue here. I know this is end grain, but it's not going to hold a lot of weight, and I do brad nail it. And if you see here in a second, the brad nail goes wrong, but I'd sort that out. I go back to it off video and I pull the brad nail out, and then I reattach it. So that's all well and good. When the glue goes off, that's plenty strong enough anyway for this application, what I'm doing. Now, you can interpret this project whichever way you want to interpret it, whichever way size. I'm just giving you a rough guide, rough idea, a bit of a spark for creativity to get your sort of creative juices flowing, get you out in that garage, that shed, get doing something, because there's nothing better than being creative, standing back and thinking, wow, I made that. Even if it's not good, you made that. It doesn't matter, does it? If you made it, it's the best thing in the world, and it doesn't matter what anybody else says. So more sanding now. I'm just getting everything nice and neat, rounding the corners over with a sander. I'm using my older sander here, just because I just had it to hand. There's no reason. And I'm using up some of my old sandpaper for the 125mm orbital sander. So I thought I'd just breeze over it with this rather than get my Max T out and waste all my Cubiton paper. I just thought I'd do this. So just taking my time. And Shelley's going over these now with some more of the Morels based spirit-based stain. She loves doing this, does Shelley? And it's a team effort what we do. Like, off camera, when you see me doing something, she's holding the camera. We haven't got a fancy gimbal or anything like that. So I was given this by a company called UPA Laser Company. Never used one before. They sent it me. It was free of charge, and I don't have to say anything nice about it. But I use it, and I will let you know how I go on with it, because I am going to use it in a few projects I'm going to do around the house, and I will let you all know, and you'll get the truth out of me. It won't be, because it's come free or anything like that. And I've told the company that as well. So anyway, Shelley's rearranging where these are going to go on here. I leave her to this, because these are the kind of things it's better for her. And here he is, post haircut. Look at him. He's just waiting for that postman. He knows what time that postman is due. It's like he can sniff him in the air. So I'm just going round, marking it, and then I can just put a bit of glue on, and then I can put it back to where them marks are, nice and level. And I better not get it out of sync, or she'll, like, lynch me. Yeah, so it's just get it nice and thingy. I'm using Titebond 2 here. Really, should have used Titebond 3 just to give me a little bit more working time. But this is fine. And there's no reason why I use Titebond 2. It's just that what I've got. When I go buy my glue again, I might buy a different brand. I don't know. So I'm just putting some weight on the top of these. Nothing special. Don't want to clamp it. I can't really clamp it anyway, to be honest with you. So I just put weight down and let that bond. And if they're not sort of strong enough, which they will be, I will pin it from the back. So I just leave that. Just leave that for, next day. So here we go with the laser. And I'm like, is it really that level? I've never used one before. And it's a proper learning curve, this. I need to get like a tripod thing for it. That's my old camera tripod. And I check it with a spirit level just in case. And it's perfectly level. And it's really good when you got it up there. If you've never used one before, I found it. At first, I found it a bit weird and a bit odd to use. But it worked out really well. I was sort of like pleasantly surprised how it worked out. So fair play, and the brand is Houpar, Heupar, which they're quite affordable apparently. So I'm just going in here with a 5mm masonry bit. I need a new one. It's a little bit bent. You can see there. It's a bit all over the place. So I bought myself some new screws. I got some Torx screws this time. Give them a try out, and they were good. I forget the brand. I'll put a link in the description to the screws. So I'm just going in, and then I'm just using that. And here's it's finished. A bit of wall art, and it covers that really bland wall up, and I can put that light on, and it just sort of gives it a nice effect. But let me know in the comments what you think. And I love it. And them flowers just knock it out of the park. I think it's an amazing piece. And people have been in the house already, are wanting one. So no doubt I'll be making a lot of these. You can sell them and make money from them. Thanks for watching. See you Wednesday.